9th August 1965. The tiny nation walked a solitary path, shrouded in uncertainty. Unlike Hong Kong, which basked in the glory of the City of London's finance reputation, Singapore had to forge its own path, lacking any backing of the Bank of England. And its third world status raised doubts about stability, infrastructure, and skilled professionals. The financial world in 1965. The global financial landscape was like a relay race. Zurich, Switzerland spearheaded the day at 9 a.m., followed by Frankfurt, Germany, and then London, UK. As the baton passed to New York, the financial world pulsed with energy. But when San Francisco closed, the curtain fell in void until the next morning in Zurich. That was until Dr. Winsemius from Netherlands shared his audacious dream with Mr. Van Onen, Vice President of Bank of America's Singapore branch, to transform Singapore into Southeast Asia's financial hub within a decade. When the pair met in London, not long after their earlier phone call, Van Onen imagined Singapore filling the void in the financial cycle after San Francisco, to set in motion a revolutionary 24/7 global financial cycle for the first time ever. Challenges stood in the way. Dr. Albert Winsemius, a visionary Dutch economist, stood at the forefront of Singapore's transformation. Between 1961 and 1984, he trailblazed as an economic advisor to Singapore, leading the United Nations Survey Mission and playing a key role in crafting and executing Singapore's economic development strategy. In a pivotal moment following their London meeting, Dr. Winsemius requested Mr. Van Onen to draft a paper on Singapore's potential as a global financial hub. The paper made its way to Hon Swee Sen, chairman of the Singapore Economic Development Board, who then presented it to Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew. The fate of Singapore's economy hung in the balance. In the 1960s, Singapore faced a major financial hurdle. As part of the sterling area, it had strict controls on moving money in and out of the country. After discussing with a Bank of England official, they were warned of potential expulsion from the sterling area if they lifted the foreign exchange control restrictions. With a bold vision, Lee Kuan Yew and Swee Sen dared to take a first step to lift foreign exchange control restrictions on all currency transactions. Against all odds, Singapore escaped repercussions, and ironically, Britain dissolved the sterling bloc just 4 years later. Another challenge was that Singapore's financial future depended on building trust in its banking system. The country needed to prove to the world that its currency board and Monetary Authority of Singapore, MAS, were strong enough to oversee the industry and prevent a catastrophic financial collapse. To boost confidence, Singapore focused on its unique currency board system, where unlike in many nations, the central bank was prevented from issuing currency and creating money without the right backing. This ensured that every Singapore dollar issued or created is backed by its equivalent value in foreign exchange. By doing so, Singapore ensured its currency remained strong and stable, especially against powerful currencies like the US dollar. More so, Singapore's bold move, protecting its local banks for over 3 decades by limiting foreign access, earned it a reputation for being over-regulated, inward-focused, and protectionist. A hurdle they would go about scaling on their way to greatness, confronting financial and political giants. In 1975, Singapore's finance minister, Swee Sen, uncovered a web of deceit in the Singapore securities market. The culprit was Slater Walker Securities, owned by British investor Jim Slater, who allegedly manipulated shares of Haw Brothers International, a Singaporean publicly traded company. As Singapore dug deeper, they found a massive conspiracy to plunder Haw's assets, with tentacles stretching to Malaysia, Hong Kong, and resting in London. Singapore sought to bring Jim Slater to justice, but Britain refused to extradite him. After a 3-year legal battle, Britain surrendered Richard Tarling for the most lenient offenses. Tarling was eventually jailed in Singapore, bringing some closure to this financial drama. In 1973, Singapore took a bold stand against the 1972 Luxembourg Incorporated Bank of Credit and Commerce International, BCCI. rejecting its license application due to inadequate capitalization and concerns about its stability. Despite Van Onen and British Prime Minister Harold Wilson's intervention on behalf of its Pakistani owner and shareholders from royal families of Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Abu Dhabi and Dubai, Singapore refused to budge. The BCCI suddenly collapsed in 1991, leaving a trail of debtors claiming $11 billion. Meanwhile, in 1975, Singapore denied a license to the National Bank of Brunei, owned by Singaporean businessman Khoo Teck Puat and backed by Prince Mohammed Bolkiah, brother of the Sultan of Brunei. Despite repeated attempts, the bank was again denied in 1983. The Sultan eventually shut down the bank in 1986 amid allegations of $1.3 billion suspicious loan activities and attempts to gain control of Standard Chartered Bank of London. Facing financial crisis. In 1985, a financial storm hit Singapore when Malaysian speculator Tan Kun Swan's reckless betting on Pan Electric Industries and other companies' shares sent the stock market into a tailspin. The Singapore Stock Exchange, SES, was forced to close for 3 days. But Singapore's financial heroes, led by Koh Beng Seng, sprang into action, creating a $180 million lifeboat fund to rescue struggling stockbrokers. This experience helped Singapore weather the 1987 Black Monday global stock market crash, while other nations struggled to stay afloat, like Hong Kong closing its market for 4 days. Also, when the 1997 East Asia financial crisis ravaged the region, havens started with the devaluation of the Thai baht. Singapore's banks remained strong, a testament to its improved financial fortitude